Hi, my name is Amie Bourdua. I'm a registered dietitian and I specialize in human nutrition and functional medicine. I'm grateful to be one of the speakers for Love in the Kitchen, and I'm going to be talking about restorative eating through the elimination diet. So what was God's original plan for food? Well, we know in Genesis 1:12 that God made the vegetation and he saw that it was good. Recently, I have been reading a book by Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich. She's a mystic of the Catholic Church, and the book is called The Life of Jesus Christ. In this book, she has tons of visions of creation. And so I wanted to share with you what one of these visions are. All was unspeakably charming. Vegetation was luxuriant, perfectly green, of a species pure, sound, exempt from decay. Sin had not yet entered. There had been no destruction. All is holy. As yet, there had been no healing, no repairing. All is pure. Nothing has need for purification. Vegetation is wild and misshapen now, compared with what they were, for all things now are thoroughly degenerate. So after the fall, it wasn't just our bodies that started to decay and die. It was all of creation, and that includes nature and our food as well. What's interesting to note is that food also had a spiritual benefit before the fall. And I only know that through another vision of Blessed Anne Catherine Emmerich, where she talks about Jesus in the wedding feast of Cana. So in her vision, Jesus is actually participating in the wedding, in that it was one of his jobs was to present games for the guests. And in those games, people would be rewarded through fruit and other kinds of foods and gifts. And in one of her visions, she talks about Jesus giving as a gift to the bride and groom a very particular kind of fruit. And when both bride and groom ate that fruit, there was a darkness that left them. And you later find out that both of them had decided together that they would not consummate their marriage for 3 whole years. And they were going to do that as a sacrifice to the Lord. So in eating those fruits and having this darkness leave them, Blessed Catherine Emmerich talks about how she saw them become lighter and brighter. And so there was a virtue or a grace attached to this pure food that they ate that helped them grow in virtue. So from her book, she explains, the vegetable kingdom before the fall was endowed with certain spiritual virtues. But since the taint of sin, the power of plants remains for man a secret. The form, the taste, the effects of the various herbs and fruits are now but simple vestiges of the virtues they possessed before sin touched them. Can you imagine eating food and having it restore not just your body, but your soul as well? And it's pretty amazing, the plan that God had for us and for creation before the fall. But we live in a world now where creation has, through generations, continued to decay and to degenerate. And not only is it naturally degenerating, but we're hurting our own food too. We're adding herbicides and pesticides, additives, preservatives. We're manipulating the food. We're planting food in soil that's not always very rich with nutrition. And we've created a lot of foods that frankly kind of harm our body and cause inflammation instead. And then to add on to that, our own bodies don't always respond to food the way that they should. We sometimes respond by having food allergies, food sensitivities, food intolerances. And then there's all kinds of signs and symptoms that go along with these things, like fatigue, eczema, stomach upset, digestion issues, stress, irritability. So foods can be kind of complicated to navigate because even sometimes nutritious foods can hurt us. My mom and dad, they have a beautiful garden that they grow in the backyard, and every year my dad loves to grow tomatoes, and my mom loves tomatoes. But recently, my mom started to get reactions after eating tomatoes, and so she can no longer eat them. So what is restorative and healthy for my dad is really no longer restorative and healthy for my mom. So on top of the food allergies and what we've done to the food, now we have healthy food that we think should be nourishing to our body, but might actually be harming us. So it can get really confusing. So how can we make sure that the food that we're eating is actually helping us and not harming us? One of those tools that I like to use is the elimination diet. What is the elimination diet? The elimination diet is a way to test our foods to determine if the food is helping us or harming us. And we can personalize our diets according to our food sensitivities, our food allergies, and our food intolerances, and separate anything that might cause us inflammation, giving us an array of foods that we can eat that will only be nutritious and restore our body back to health. I'm looking forward to diving into this way of personalizing your food. So come join me this Sunday for a Love in the Kitchen live session to learn how to find the foods that are restoring for you. Thank you.